Launch initiated.
Alright, super citizens of Super YouTube, welcome to another Arpexxi tips video, this time featuring your favorite host of insatiable Terminids. Today, we'll talk about tips on how to beat them and the best loadout to use. So hold on to your hell pods, we're going for a ride.
Initiating FTL jump to the Fact Bay system.
Alright, so how's that for an intro, huh? I just wanted to do something a little bit fun, but now we're on to business. The best loadout, again, this is a type of a Swiss Army build for Terminids. So it has weapons for heavy, medium, and smaller enemies. And the most important thing of any builds for the Terminids, I think, is to use light armor. Again, I'm using the armor with the extra padding. I think that helps a lot with survivability in terms of how many hits you can take. This one here, so that armor with the Parade Commander armor is also a really good one as well because of the reload speed. There's a lot of targets with bugs, and reloading is really important. That one gives you a little more survivability. The Street Scout gives you a little more ammo. So it depends on whichever you need more with your weapon that you use. If it's something like the Scorcher, then more ammo is definitely a necessity in my opinion. But I like of course, the extra padding. I think that's the best one generally for me. There's also the Scout armor is good, especially if you're a beginner and you have the original War Bond only. And the other one is the extra grenades is good too if you have that on a light armor. As for grenades themselves, basically the gas is good for misdirection sometimes and to get enemies off of your back. The incendiary is the best one. The impact is good, but it doesn't have as much fire and as much spread. So that's why I recommend the regular incendiary over it. And of course, the potato masher grenades, they're good for chargers and things like that if you need. The other thing here is, again, I go with the Talon. The Bushwhacker is good for some like style, but it just takes too long to reload generally. So it's only for style points. The grenade pistol you can use for bug holes, but in my build, I use the crossbow, and that can take care of the bug holes by themselves. I used to use the Redeemer, but I think something without ammo is really good for the bugs. So like the dagger is good if you have trouble aiming, and it's a little bit better for the shriekers in my opinion, but I like the Talon because it's better all around. So yeah, the main feature here is the crossbow, amazing for closing bug holes, and then that frees up your secondary to do other things, and it also lets you choose like any kind of grenade that you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be good for bug holes. Before, the Breaker Incendiary was really good, and before that, the Breaker was the one you really wanted against the bugs. I haven't tried those for a long time, but I think the crossbow is better, and I'll explain why in a little bit. You also have things like the Cookout with rounds reload. That's a good thing too sometimes. But again, just the explosive nature and the dual, the demolition and the destruction in one package is really good. But the bugs are a lot more forgiving than the bots. They allow many different types of play. You could even use the torture here, and that would be good too. as a flamethrower to keep the bugs at bay and give you some area denial. The Scorcher is really good for the Predator strain, in my opinion, but this video doesn't deal with the Predator strain. It deals with all other types of bugs. So the Predator strain, I would probably do some build similar to this, but I would use the Scorcher instead because of all the big targets you have there. When we go into this part here, the stratagems, you can use the Gatling barrage or the precision strike or the airburst strike. I prefer the Gatling barrage because the cooldown is quicker and it's good to throw on the bug holes. The orbital napalm barrage is amazing. If you get a bug breach, just throw that on the bug breach and you get hundreds of kills. So that's really good too, but it cannot close bug holes, which is why I prefer the 380 barrage instead. And you'll see that that does wonders in closing the holes. The orbital gas strike is also a good one with a pretty generous cooldown. So that's pretty good to use too. And the 500 kilogram bomb is good, of course, for the bile titans and clusters of big enemies. The machine gun is also pretty decent in my opinion. It also takes care of the shriekers pretty well, but we need something dedicated for heavies. You don't want the recoilless rifle because you're gonna be immobile when you're reloading it, and you don't want that against the bugs. You want to always be moving with the bugs. So the Quasar cannon is where it's at, and it gives you space for a backpack as well. The autocannon is pretty decent too, but it's harder for things like the Bile Titan. So we get a free backpack slot with the Quasar, and anything like the jetpack, the hover pack is a good one. I'm going to choose the gas because I'll explain that later as well. The machine gun sentry here, this is amazing because of the cooldown. The cooldown is where it's at. This thing, you can throw it all the time and it will give you cover so you can protect a different area while that does its job. It also can get enemies off your back if you do it right. Again, we don't want to be really immobile, so we don't want any stationary turrets, but the HMG is pretty decent in some situations. The Tesla Tower, that's a good one too, because it lasts for a very, very long time if it's uncontested. And the good way to do that is to put it up next to a rock formation so it can't get surrounded and it has less angles to defend. So that's the way to do it, and then to keep chargers off of it and Bile Titans because they'll go right for it. So again, the boosters, it's the traditional order here, the supply pack booster, then the hell pod optimization, I think is what it's called, then the stamina, then the experimental stims, but the localization confusion may be good too because you get a lot of patrols with the bugs, and they're quite, it almost seems like they know exactly where you are when you, even though they haven't spotted you. It's just how the game works. Like, you know, why are they coming this way? I don't know, but apparently they're sensitive to sound, so I've done things like throw a grenade the opposite direction, run the other way to try to stealth around them, and that has actually worked. So we'll go on to the first piece of the kit here with the explanation, the crossbow, and the sentry also. As you can see, I put that up on the opposite side there, and that's gonna take care of the enemies inside the crater here so that I can go in and destroy the holes. So that's always a good thing to do, is put it on the slopes for the bug holes. And then if you don't have a good angle with the crossbow, you can just throw a grenade in because sometimes it's too risky, or you just don't have the angle. For far shots with the crossbow, at about this range, you want to aim just a little bit above the hole because of the gravity's effect on the arrow. And so you get a hang of that. It's generally a little bit above, like right there, and it's then you get a good shot off on that. So as you could see, I had the machine gun there protecting my flank. There I ran out of crossbow ammunition, so I just threw a grenade in. I have my grenade mapped to R1 to switch between that and my guns, and that's much better than the default setup. So I recommend you guys to do that, to switch it to something that you can really switch to grenades quickly for situations like that. So yeah, so that's about it, I think, for the crossbow and the demolition part of it. Shooting wise, you can see here it's good against the chargers if you get a shot in the backside. Once that happens, it's as good as dead. And then the really good thing with this is, yeah, see, grenades are good if you have a difficult shot like that. So, and here we have the grenade and the talon combo, the crossbow and the talon combo. So one or two shots on the brood commander, and then just switch to the talon and finish them off. You save yourself a crossbow bolt and less reload time, and it's a much better ammo economy too. So that's a little bit advanced trick that I picked up. And yeah, it's one and a barrage of talon shots, or it's two and like just one or two talon shots should take care of them. But the talon's pretty good because you're gonna be in situations where they're too close to you to use the crossbow, and you want to use, or in like this kind of a situation here, and you want to use it in a safe way. So we also have the quasar cannon here, which is good. I recommend to use it against the brood commanders, actually, especially if you don't have any big targets around, and especially if you're starting an ambush. So you take those out, and then they can't call for anybody. They're just instantly dead. It's good against these guys if you aim for like the nape of that orange stuff that comes out right where I shot it there. That's a one-hit kill on that guy. So, and you can do it from behind him as well. I've actually laid down behind him, and I got a shot like through the legs to the back of that thing. The quasar is difficult to aim with. I think maybe I legitimately missed that shot, but this one I think I got for sure. So I don't know what the heck happened there. And if something happens like that and it's too close, it can hurt you pretty badly. But yeah, these weapons, they all work pretty synergistically, and they cover every enemy type. And it's another Swiss Army build, so it's quite effective. And so you'll see here now how I take out a nest and I ambush it. And so again, brood commander first before everybody's alerted. Then I'll take these other guys out with the crossbow. And then I will reload on my way over. Machine guns covering any stragglers. And then we get the hole done, and then we mop everything up with the talon here. And that's it. So that's the synergy that this has. And the crossbow is really good for bugs, especially if you have the green, you know what I'm talking about, the green ones and the new spore ones. You can kill 8 of them with like one shot because they all blow up like that. So it's just wonderful. Machine guns, You should put them in a good spot, like generally at the end of the area that you're defending or on an area that's a little bit higher ground from where you are. That's really important. As you can see, I have the dog breath working here for me, and that kept me safe when I was taking out a heavy nest by myself. Which you want to throw an artillery barrage in the heavy nest or any nest if you can, because you might as well get the cooldown started for the next time you want to use it. So you throw it basically as far as you can into the center of the nest, and it will take care of a lot of the holes generally, depending on how lucky you are. So as you can see in this one, it's going to basically like just take care of the whole bug hole for me. I mean the whole nest for me. And so by the time it's actually over, it's the nest is taken care of. But yeah, this is earlier there was the crossbow and everything working in synergy. The grenades are good too, because if you want more heavy capacity, you can take the potato mashers. See, with this build, I had like the most kills and I had really low deaths too. And so you may not always get the most kills with the build, but you have that dog breath that gives you a lot of survivability. If you are doing a arena type thing, you can switch to heavy armor. I would recommend the roadblock. And then I go for I don't need to close any bug holes, so I go for the napalm, and I go for the Gatling barrage to throw on those bug breaches. And I go for the quasar. And then I might go for the dog breath if I want to be a little safer. But generally, I don't find that I need to so much because I defend the area pretty well. So I go for the machine gun here. And then, of course, you don't want... See, somebody in this group chose stamina. Now, why the heck do you need stamina if you're going to be in this arena? It makes no sense at all. Like, increase your reinforcement budget or choose the health one. Like, why would you choose the stamina? I don't understand these choices sometimes. Anyway, one other thing I forgot to mention with the quasar is that you don't have to shoot your shot. If you're not ready, you can back off. And it's kind of spooling there, I guess you could say. And you can, let your finger off the trigger for a split second to keep it partially charged until you have a good shot. The other thing you can do is dive and charge at the same time. That's a little bit an advanced technique, but that will give you space if you want. The barrages here, somebody threw that one on the right too close to the objective. That's really, really important. You want to get those things out of there as soon as possible and away from the objective. It has to be thrown quite far away. The other thing with the Talon, you can shoot like about 6 or 7 shots pretty quickly before it gets close to overheating. And so you can do that, and then you can switch back to the crossbow right afterwards. But be careful, it doesn't make a very loud sound when it overheats, so if you do overheat it, remember to reload it as soon as you get a chance. If you have a turret, any kind of turret, don't put it right where everybody's standing on the objective or the evac site. People do that all the time and it drives me nuts because the bugs come from all sides and those things spin around and they shoot at you and it's just like so dangerous. So I recommend to put it behind, like in front of a barrier or a wall, or on a different level so that it shoots over your head, or it shoots too low that you're safe. I'd like to make a whole video on like correct turret placement someday, because so many people are not like placing the turrets in the correct place, and that's actually really, really important with their effectiveness, their security, and your security as well. But so many people, like, they put it right on the objective, like right on the evac site. And so bugs are coming from all corners, and it's spinning around and shooting everywhere. And it's just like, oh, like sometimes I will actually destroy those turrets if they become too dangerous. So instead, I recommend using your map. The same thing for the barrage too. See where the bugs are coming from, then put the turret in a very good place that allows it not to be flanked by the bugs so easily, but also to be safe from your shooting your teammates and things like that. So the strategy with the turrets is not to protect the whole objective by itself, so you don't throw it on the objective. That's what your team is for. All of you guys protect the objective by yourself, but the turret is to like block one particular flow of enemies, or one direction, north, south, west, or east. And that's how they work. And then you put your attention on the other part where the turret is not helping out. So that's the way that they're supposed to work, in my opinion. It's the name of the game with bugs. It's all about speed, constantly running, keeping enemies at bay, watching your flanks, looking at the map, make sure you don't get surrounded by them. And then always be doing something with your weapons, whether you're reloading them or you're using them. With this build, you can do that. You can use it for just about everything, every type of enemy, and you can constantly be doing something while the quasar is charging. You can do something else. So this part here, I just wanted to show you guys, you can actually move these two dials at the same time for the frequency, but it's really, really difficult. But I think it's possible to be good at it so that you could do them both at the same time and get it completed faster. So that's one of my things that I want to learn to do better in the game. Please like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. It helps me out a lot. I never imagined that I could have views, but I'm getting a few hundred right now. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one, where I will do an Illuminate version. I will also tag a video here of about maybe a 25-minute or 30-minute mission here that I did. If you'd like, you can see how to use this build in action. So thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.